Hello students, let's move on to the next topic in computer graphics, module 3, clipping algorithms. So any procedure that eliminates those portions of the picture that are either inside or outside a specified region of space, which is referred to as clipping algorithm or simply clipping. Okay, recall the previous concepts which we have discussed in the previous videos and all. The meaning of clipping, I repeat the concept once again. I have taken the example earlier of that mountain, recall that, right? Then we have selected the particular portion of the mountain by defining a region. We call that region or rectangle as the clipping window. So place the clipping window on top of that particular thing, say mountain. So how the portion of the mountain which falls under or inside that clipping window you are supposed to extract, and rest of the things should be clipped off. That is what the concept of clipping is, selecting a particular portion from the object or image. And the method to perform such task is called as a clipping algorithm or simply clipping procedure. It is the most common application of clipping is in the weaving pipeline, where the clipping is applied to extract the designated portion, as I said you just now. Okay, there are different object clipping. Different object clippings are as follows. So we can go for a point clipping, line clipping, that is for straight line segment, then fill area clipping or polygon clipping, it is called as curve clipping, as well as text clipping. Okay, it can be, there are 5 different types of objects or categories of objects are listed here, and we can perform clipping on those particular type of the objects like point, line, fill area, or simply polygon clipping, curve clipping, as well as the text clipping. Okay, so let's begin with the two-dimensional point clipping. For a clipping rectangle in standard position, we save a two-dimensional point. Let the two-dimensional point be p equal to xy. We are familiar with this notation. So for a display, if the following inequalities are satisfied, so the value of x should ranges between xw minimum, that clipping window, x parameter, it should range between xw minimum as well as xw maximum. The value of x should lies, isn't it? Somewhere, suppose it is a clipping rectangle. Suppose it is a clipping rectangle, then this will become xw minimum, isn't it? And this parameter of x-axis, right, this will become xw maximum. So value of x should lies between, in this particular range, value of x should lies between xw minimum to xw maximum, including both the points. So less than or equal to is taken. Similarly for y, so this is y minimum, first point, as well as y maximum, in the sense you have to check the pointer, right? So the value of y should ranges between these 2 points, that is yw minimum to yw maximum, including both the points. That is what the condition. Okay, if these 4 inequalities are not satisfied, so if this inequality what is mentioned, the equation is not satisfied, then point is clipped. Okay, if it is not satisfied means point lies somewhere outside, isn't it? If these conditions are not satisfied means either point is lying somewhere over here, or here in this portion, or the other portion, as well as the other portion. Of course it is outside the rectangle, you have to clip this portion. If it is satisfies means already it is inside, there is no question of clipping, it is already, you have to include. Clip means you have to delete or ignore that particular reason, isn't it? So if these inequalities are not satisfied, then go for clipping, point clipping. Okay, very simple concept. Next we have the line clipping. Here the line clipping is clipping the straight line segments using a standard rectangular clipping window. Using a clipping window, we are going to clip off the line segment portions which falls outside the rectangle. These are all the examples, as you can see here in the diagram. Check, there are various line segments. Okay, this is before clipping. A rectangle is drawn. As you can see the rectangle, so I will highlight it once again for your reference. This is what the rectangle is, we call it as clipping window. See the line segments inside. There is a line segment between P1 and P2, right? Then P3, P4. While observing the line segment, watch it carefully. P1, P2 which lies inside the rectangle. P3, P4, this line segment lies outside the rectangle, isn't it? Then P7, P5, P6, you can see P5, P6. Observe carefully, P5, P6. Some portion of this line segment is there outside, which falls outside the rectangle. So that particular portion should be clipped off later on. Right? Yeah, hope it is clearly visible. P5, P6. Similarly, observe P7, P8. See here, some portion of P7, P8, right, which falls outside the rectangle, isn't it? Then, of course, some portions are there inside. What is there inside you have to take, and what is there outside you have to clip off later on. Then P9, P10, totally it is kept outside the rectangle. Fine. Now, after performing the clipping operation, the output should be, or result should be, see here, a rectangle is drawn, right? We have ignored some of the line segments, which P1, P2 is there inside. Clearly it is there inside the rectangle as per this scenario, so it is kept as it is. Then P3, P4, you see, P3, P4 is there outside, so you just clipped it off. Then P5, P6, P5, P6, watch carefully. P5, we have defined a new location. What is the new location? Boundary of the rectangle. Observe here, boundary of the rectangle, one of the portion, the left corner, right, this particular portion of the rectangle we have taken as the boundary for P5. So new point P5 is defined. What is that? P5 dash we called it as. P6 is of course there inside the triangle, so rectangle, so keep it as it is without changing the dimension and all. P7, P8, the line segment dimension is changed once again. The portion outside the rectangle, this is what the portion I am highlighting. See, this is what the portion kept outside, as well as this is what the portion falls outside the rectangle, should be clipped off, isn't it? So the new portion lies between these two boundaries. We call the boundary as we call the region as P7 dash and P8 dash, as you can see, P7 dash and P8 dash. P9, P10 clearly kept outside the rectangle, so we have clipped it off, right? This is what the general scenario of line clipping. Let us continue our discussion in the next video.